God spoke. You're being set up to fail, but heaven is about to flip the script. They thought they could bury your name, but God engraved it in heaven. They assumed their whispers would define your future, but heaven has already declared the outcome. This message is not ordinary. This message comes by the sword of divine truth and the fire of celestial protection. Archangel Michael has been dispatched on divine assignment to expose the plan of sabotage set against you and to reveal the sacred reversal that heaven has already begun. There is a shift in the realm. There is a reordering of events. What they meant for harm is about to serve your highest good. What they plotted in darkness will be the platform of your rising. You are being called into awareness, into boldness, into stillness that moves mountains, and silence that shakes kingdoms. The setup was never about your weakness. It was about your awakening. In this moment, Archangel Michael speaks not with soft suggestion, but with burning urgency. Because what was hidden from you in the last 7 days is about to surface in the next 24 hours. There is a conversation being orchestrated around your life. There is a manipulation that was never meant for your ears. There is a strategy unfolding, not from one person, but from a cluster of spirits influenced by jealousy, bitterness, and misunderstanding. This is not just betrayal. This is orchestration. This is not random. This is rehearsed. And heaven wants you to know that you are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not overreacting. You are discerning. You are receiving downloads from a realm that sees what your eyes cannot. The battle has always been spiritual, but now God is bringing it to the surface so even those in the flesh can no longer deny it. You've been wondering why doors seem delayed. You've been noticing sudden friction in connections you once trusted. You've been wrestling with spiritual fatigue, waking up with a pressure on your chest, sensing warfare in the atmosphere. That is not your imagination. That is the residue of the trap set to discourage your soul. But hear this clearly. Heaven never sleeps, and the God who planted your purpose never abandoned your process. What they thought would crush your name, heaven will use to crown it. What they meant to fracture your focus, God will use to fuel your mission. This message is not to scare you. It is to prepare you. You are not the victim. You are the vessel. And Archangel Michael has drawn his sword not to warn you alone, but to fight for you until the script is flipped. Archangel Michael says this with authority. There is a shift in your atmosphere, and your name has been mentioned in rooms of deception. Be careful now. You are not where you were, and yet the enemy thinks he still has a blueprint of your old self. He's trying to use outdated plans to attack an upgraded soul. But he has underestimated the God who walks with you. He has misunderstood the power of your silence, your growth, your alignment. Archangel Michael is standing on divine alert because the spiritual temperature around your destiny has risen. And heaven won't let this attack go unnoticed. Someone has tried to move the pieces behind your back, thinking you wouldn't see the play unfold. But what they fail to realize is that the Spirit of the living God just exposed the blueprint and handed the instruction to heaven's fiercest warrior. There is no coincidence in the tension you felt lately. The late-night anxiety, the strange dreams, the pressure in your spirit that words can't explain. These are not fragments of fear. These are signals of divine sensitivity. You've walked into a new season and triggered a wave of resistance. When your light gets brighter, the shadows tremble harder. When your elevation is imminent, the sabotage intensifies. Archangel Michael says, this is not a test of your strength, it is an announcement of your shift. And while the enemy works overtime to distract you, heaven is activating new realms of clarity, protection, and reversal. You are not being overlooked. You are being refined. You are not being rejected. You are being routed, divinely and deliberately. Hear this and let it anchor your soul. Heaven is about to flip the script. And when heaven flips it, no voice can reverse it. No whisper can alter it. No plan can block it. You are not who they think you are. You are who God designed you to be, and the evidence is unfolding quickly. Archangel Michael is not sent casually. He is sent when the weight of warfare demands a warrior's presence. He is sent when the shift can no longer wait. He is sent when the setup must be stopped and the script must be rewritten. He is not watching this unfold. He is moving with fire and clarity to secure your elevation. This message is not about fear. It is about revelation. And you are receiving it not as coincidence but confirmation. Be alert. Be still. Be grounded in what you already carry. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 444 has been released into your atmosphere. Archangel Michael reveals this now. There is a voice behind the curtain, a voice cloaked in false concern but drenched in quiet sabotage. Someone is watching you. Not because they support you, but because they secretly hope you slip. Someone is discussing your name, but not with blessing on their tongue. They are twisting truth into speculation. They are disguising envy as advice. They are framing your silence as arrogance, your boundaries as coldness, your distance as guilt. But let it be known, heaven sees. Heaven records. Heaven responds. And in this very hour, what they assumed would stay hidden in whispers is echoing in the courts of the Most High. They thought they knew you. They thought they could predict your every move. But all they ever saw was the version of you they invented in their minds. They didn't see the oil on your name. They didn't see the fire that refined you. They didn't see the scars turned sacred. So now they speculate. They assume. They create false narratives to fill in the gaps they cannot comprehend. They say you changed. But what they really mean is they can't control your light anymore. And when people lose access, they create stories to explain your distance. You didn't pull away in pride, you were pulled by purpose. And that purpose is now threatening their agenda. You've been feeling the pressure of being misunderstood. The tension of knowing something is off but not having full clarity. That's not just intuition. It's revelation stirring within you. The enemy hath been planting seeds of misinterpretation. A conversation happened behind your back that shifted the way someone sees you, and now their energy feels different. Cold. Passive. Watchful. But what they don't realize is that your discernment is not sleeping. The spirit within you is alive. Alert. Awake. Archangel Michael says, your soul has picked up what your ears were never meant to hear, and still, you remain standing. Still, you remain silent. Still, you remain favored. This disruption you feel, it's not just relational. It's dimensional. It's a battle of perception versus reality. They saw you smile and assumed you were soft. They saw your kindness and mistook it for naivety. But you are more than a smile. You are fire. You are sword. You are shield. You are crowned by survival and cloaked in divine endurance. The very moment they thought you were weak was the very moment heaven increased your strength. Let them talk. Let them gather. Let them assume. God is letting them dig just deep enough to fall into their own traps. Because what they're whispering in shadows will soon be exposed in light. They've uncovered a fragment of your journey, just enough to spin their version of your story, but not enough to understand the glory attached to your name. They don't know what you've carried in private. They don't know the prayers you've wept in the night. They don't know the moments you could have quit, but didn't. You are not defined by fragments. You are defined by favor. And that favor is not going away. It's intensifying. Their plot to discredit you will become the stage for your validation. Their plan to undermine you will only highlight your resilience. This disruption is not your downfall. It's your divine confirmation. So now the Spirit speaks clearly through Archangel Michael. Do not react. Do not chase. Do not explain. Let what is whispered fall to dust, and let your fruit speak louder than their lies. The disruption is real, but so is your discernment. And in that discernment is your defense. In that silence is your sword. You do not need to prove truth when heaven is your witness. You do not need to fight back when angels stand guard around your name. What they thought was a private setup has now become a divine spotlight. The script is flipping. And when it does, even the ones who doubted you will be forced to confess. They never really knew who they were dealing with. Type "I walk in truth" in the comments to activate blessing code 555. Your enemies are being revealed, and your clarity is being restored. Archangel Michael says this is not a personal matter. It is a spiritual one. What you're facing right now may look like mere misunderstandings or jealousy, but the truth runs deeper. This conflict is a coded war between light and shadow, between divine calling and dark interference, between your sacred assignment and the enemy's desperation to stop it. You were never just someone with ambition. You were someone with anointing. And that anointing has disrupted more than egos. It has agitated spirits that recognize your rising. This is why they are reacting. This is why they are reaching. Because your very presence now shifts spiritual climates, and the old systems cannot contain what you've become. You're not just being misunderstood. You're being spiritually targeted. Not because of what you've said or done, but because of what you carry and what you're about to birth. The friction around you is proof that your light is getting too loud to ignore. The whispers are not just words, they are weapons, forged in insecurity and fear. But heaven declares, no weapon formed shall prosper, not because it will be launched, but because it will not land. You are divinely shielded, and what appears to be opposition is actually orchestration. The enemy wouldn't launch an attack if you weren't a threat. You wouldn't stir conflict if you weren't close to breakthrough. He's not fighting where you are. He's fighting where you're going. You must understand this. Your life is not random. Your struggle is not chaos. Your pain is not pointless. Everything you've endured, every betrayal, every delay, every storm, had been part of the refining process. And now, your conflict is a confirmation. You are chosen. You are appointed. You are sealed. And because you are sealed, you are marked. And because you are marked, you are misunderstood. People don't always know what to do with someone who walks in silent authority. Someone who doesn't need validation to feel valuable. Someone who doesn't beg to be seen, but still cannot be ignored. That's you. You are not common, and that makes you a challenge to control. Archangel Michael says, you are not at war with people. You are at war with the principalities that cannot stand the light in you. This is why your presence causes tension. This is why people who never knew you suddenly feel the need to tear you down. Their spirits are reacting to what your presence exposes. They feel it even if they don't understand it. You don't have to say a word. Your peace provokes their demons. Your stillness feels like thunder to those who live in chaos. Your discipline disrupts their dysfunction. And while they try to disguise their resistance with smiles and surface conversations, heaven has already unmasked their intent. You are not paranoid. You are prophetic. And your spiritual sensitivity is your shield right now. This isn't just about being set up to fail. It's about being positioned to rise. The enemy tried to orchestrate your downfall, but what he didn't know is that God was using every moment to deepen your discernment, to stretch your strength, to sharpen your wisdom. Every conflict is a classroom. Every attack is an altar. And every delay is a declaration. You're not late. You're protected. The doors that didn't open were shields in disguise. The people who left were assignments completed. The tension you feel is not resistance from God. It's resistance from the realm that fears what you're about to step into. So now, child of light, listen well. This conflict isn't just noise, it's a test of positioning. Do not descend into the drama. Do not lower yourself to match their misunderstanding. Rise above it, because elevation demands separation, and what looks like isolation is divine insulation. Heaven is closing off access, not to punish you, but to preserve the purity of your purpose. This isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. The setup was spiritual, and so is the reversal. God is flipping the script not on a surface level, but at a soul level. And those who tried to write you off will have no choice but to watch your reintroduction. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is moving through your atmosphere, bringing divine fire to every hidden attack. Archangel Michael warns with power and precision. There is movement in the shadows. Watch the next 3 hours. Someone is preparing to strike. But hear this with absolute clarity: you will not be caught off guard. What they are planning behind closed doors will not surprise heaven. What they are about to say, send, post, or manipulate will not reach its full effect, because God has already gone ahead of you. Still, this is not a time to be naive. It is not a time to be passive. It is a time to be spiritually alert. Your name is on someone's lips, not with admiration but with accusation, not with honor but with distortion. Someone is preparing to twist the truth, to provoke a reaction, to open a door you closed for your peace. But do not engage. Do not explain. Do not entertain it. That conversation is bait. That message is a trap. That offer is a counterfeit dressed in familiar language. What you feel in your spirit right now, the unease, the nervous anticipation, the energetic friction, is the confirmation you've been sensing but couldn't put into words. Heaven just translated the feeling. What's brewing is not random. It is the result of a spiritual trigger being activated by your obedience. Because you chose silence over chaos. Because you chose healing over proving your point. Because you chose elevation over explanation. Now, the enemy feels cornered. Now, those who once manipulated you feel powerless. And powerless people often become dangerous ones. They're trying to reclaim control through confusion. But confusion is not your portion. Not now. Not ever. Archangel Michael declares, watch for the unexpected message. It might come through someone you haven't heard from in a long time. It might sound harmless, like an innocent check-in, a random question, or a veiled apology. But feel the spirit behind it. Does it bring peace? Or does it bring pressure? That is your clue. Heaven is not calling you to respond. Heaven is calling you to discern. Because what's being sent your way is not meant to reconcile. It's meant to reopen wounds. There are forces that want you back in survival mode, back in confusion, back in cycles you've already broken free from. They want your attention because they no longer have your presence. And since they can't reach your future, they are trying to drag you back into your past. This is why the timeline is crucial. The next few hours will determine the energy of your next few weeks. You must choose your posture wisely. There is power in your pause. There is protection in your non-response. Every second you stay silent, the spiritual realm recalibrates in your favor. You are not missing out. You are being measured. This is a test of your alignment, not with them, but with God. And when you pass this test, when you ignore the distraction, when you choose peace over panic, something will shift. Rapidly, unexpectedly, radically. The script will flip in real time. What they thought would crumble you will confirm you. What they believed would bait you will bless you instead. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword not to scare you, but to cover you. You are not walking into this moment alone. You are surrounded. Every angel assigned to your destiny is standing in position. Every word spoken against you is falling to the ground with no roots. Every scheme is being exposed before it touches you. Heaven is ahead of you, behind you, and beside you. And even now, the Spirit is whispering strategy into your soul. You are being warned because you are worthy. You are being alerted because your steps are ordered. You are not prey. You are protected. So when the message comes, ignore it. When the gossip finds its way to you, dismiss it. When the urge to defend yourself rises, release it. You do not need to respond to rumors. You do not need to speak into distortion. Heaven is about to respond on your behalf. And when heaven speaks, no lie can stand, no mask can remain, no setup can survive. You are not about to fall into the trap. You are about to rise out of the warfare. You are about to witness the setup implode. Type I will not react in the comments if this word is yours. Blessing code 888 is breaking the enemy's timeline and shielding your next step. Archangel Michael speaks now, not with urgency, but with authority wrapped in calm. Do not chase what is running. Do not explain what God is already defending. This battle is not yours to fight in the flesh. The moment you engage with the voices that question you, you descend to the level where confusion thrives. But the elevation you are stepping into cannot afford you to get tangled in petty explanations or emotional counterattacks. You are not here to convince anyone. You are not here to correct every lie. You are here to stand. You are here to discern. You are here to let heaven fight for you in full display. There is a power that exists in your stillness that chaos cannot comprehend. That's why they keep poking, baiting, whispering, hoping you'll step out of divine alignment and into human retaliation. But restraint is your weapon now. You are no longer in the same atmosphere as your enemies. They want to pull you back into a room that no longer carries your name. But the anointing on your life has matured. The oil on your head has deepened. You are not who you were when they first underestimated you. You are walking under a divine code, a sacred strategy, a protective silence that breaks cycles louder than shouting ever could. Let your silence be your sanctuary. Let your stillness be your sword. This is not avoidance, it is warfare. Heaven is whispering to you to remain seated while it builds the case. While your enemies think you're retreating, you're actually being preserved. They cannot perceive the power of someone who no longer plays by the rules of the flesh. You're operating in a higher frequency now. A realm where discernment outpaces dialogue. A dimension where peace is louder than proof. You don't need to broadcast your truth. God is about to demonstrate it through results, through reversal, through rapid restoration. Do not be fooled by the pressure to speak. Not every accusation deserves a response. Not every battle is an invitation. There are wars designed to steal your focus, drain your energy, and distract you from destiny. You must protect your space with spiritual intelligence. Guard your gates. Guard your atmosphere. Your spiritual health is more valuable than temporary validation. Let the rumors circle. Let the gossip grow live. Let the silence between you and them become the distance that heaven requires. There is freedom in not reacting. There is healing in not replying. There is victory in letting God reveal what you don't need to argue. Archangel Michael commands, stay grounded. Do not be moved by noise. Stay rooted in truth. Do not be shifted by theatrics. Every moment you withhold reaction, you store spiritual strength. Every time you choose silence over proving yourself, you build a fortress around your destiny. You are not weak, you are wise. And the wise don't fight with their mouths. They fight with their posture. They fight with their presence. They fight by remaining unmoved while everything around them tries to provoke a response. And when heaven sees that restraint, when the Most High sees that discipline, that's when divine intervention begins to move on your behalf. Rapidly, fiercely, publicly. Let heaven fight for you. Let angels walk ahead of you. Let your name be carried by favor, not explanation. Because what is coming doesn't require a defense. What's coming requires obedience. You are not here to fix everyone's perception. You are here to fulfill your purpose. And that purpose is not shaken by slander. It is not hindered by silence. In fact, your silence is part of the prophecy. Because when the setup fails, and it will, the absence of your reaction will be your loudest testimony. The fact that you didn't fight back will be the sign that you were always covered, always guarded, always chosen. So breathe deeply. Hold your posture. Do not flinch. Do not fold. This is your training ground, not your battlefield. The real fight is already happening in the spirit, and victory has already been written. You will not have to strain to see it. You will not have to manipulate your way into it. You simply need to stand still and let heaven finish what was started. Type I trust heaven's timing in the comments now. Blessing code 313 is surrounding you with the armor of patience, wisdom, and supernatural peace. Archangel Michael now declares what the enemy tried to bury, you have changed. You are not the same version of yourself that once questioned your worth in the face of rejection. You are not the same spirit that begged for room in places that couldn't hold your calling. What they expected from you, weakness, apology, silence from shame, will never return. Because God has flipped the script, and heaven has rewritten the character of your future. The one they plotted against is gone. The one they underestimated is rising. The one they tried to humiliate is about to be elevated. You have outgrown the battlefield they built for you. You have surpassed the traps they set around you. You are walking in power that cannot be explained, only witnessed. They remember who you were, but they do not recognize who you've become. Let them talk. Let them cling to outdated stories. They are holding on to an expired version of your identity while heaven has already delivered the upgrade. And that upgrade didn't come through flattery or praise, that came through fire. Through delay. Through disappointment. Through spiritual pressure that refined every part of your soul. You are walking differently because you've been tested differently. You speak with clarity now because you were once drowned in confusion. You glow with purpose now because you were once shattered in silence. The shift wasn't sudden, it was sacred. And now, the power you carry is irreversible. You must hear this. They can't touch what God has sealed. They tried to access you with familiar tactics. Old conversations. Familiar faces. Emotional triggers. But your soul no longer opens for counterfeits. Your spirit no longer answers to fear. You have been sealed with strategy. You have been marked with maturity, and that makes you unshakable, unreachable by small minds, unavailable for old cycles. Archangel Michael says, you are no longer who they thought they were dealing with. They set the trap for a version of you that no longer exists. You have transcended their imagination, and now your very existence convicts their complacency. The flip has already begun, and it's visible, not just in how you walk, but in what you no longer tolerate. The disrespect that used to crush you now reveals your authority. The silence that used to haunt you now protects your peace. The setups that once broke your focus now reinforce your discernment. You are not reacting because your spirit has outgrown the need to be understood. You are not retreating. You are being refined. And soon, they will watch you rise in spaces they never expected you to enter. And when you do, it won't be because you forced your way in. It will be because God placed you there, publicly, undeniably, divinely. Archangel Michael affirms it again. Out of the ashes, you rise. This isn't just poetry. It's prophecy. You have been through the fire, emotionally, relationally, spiritually, and you did not come out the same. You emerged with fire in your voice, thunder in your prayers, and unshakable light in your core. You are not rising to prove a point. You are rising because heaven decreed it. Because the enemy could not delay it. Because even the sabotage became a stepping stone. You are not the byproduct of betrayal. You are the evidence of divine rebuilding. And that rebuilding is now complete. To walk boldly. To claim every room that once rejected you. Look in the mirror and recognize your own transformation. You were not just attacked, you were activated. You were not just tested, you were trained. This is not the end of a chapter. It is the unveiling of a new dimension. A spiritual rebirth where your power is no longer hidden, and your authority is no longer questioned. Let those who doubted you witness what heaven already confirmed. You were set up to fail, but now you're being set apart to flourish. Type I am rising in the comments if this shift belongs to you. Blessing code 999 hath been activated. This is your final stretch before full release. Archangel Michael now releases this prophetic truth into your spirit. You're standing at the edge of the greatest transformation of your life. What you thought was a breaking point was actually a birthing point. What you assumed was loss was divine loosening. What they meant to destroy you has only stripped away what was never needed for the next dimension. Hear this clearly. You are not the aftermath of betrayal. You are the prophecy of divine reversal. Every pain, every silence, every delay, every confrontation has not only been seen by heaven, it had been redeemed. God has been writing the next chapter in invisible ink, and now, under the fire of your faith, that chapter is being revealed. There is someone coming, someone sent by God, not with a false apology, not with confusion, but with confirmation. This person will carry truth, a voice, a revelation, a sentence that exposes what you suspected but couldn't prove, a word that brings validation to your discernment. Don't chase it. Don't beg for it. Heaven is orchestrating it, and it will arrive on divine timing, not your timeline. Archangel Michael says, God is about to send clarity in a way that no lie can survive it. And when it arrives, the fog will lift, the doubt will dissolve, and your name will be restored, not because you explained yourself, but because God decided your time in the shadows was over. This moment of transformation is not simply about vindication, it's about preparation. Because once the reversal begins, the pace will be unlike anything you've experienced. You will go from hidden to highlighted, from questioned to qualified, from isolated to invited, from battle-worn to blessing carried. This will be heaven's final confirmation before your elevation. You must prepare for rapid favor. You must make space for unexpected doors. You must clear the emotional clutter and get your spiritual posture ready. Your alignment is no longer optional. Your obedience is now urgent. Because when the shift fully opens, you will not have time to second-guess what you've been praying for. The blessing will come fast, and the favor will require focus. This is the final test before your elevation. The test of remaining still while heaven proves everything. The test of protecting your peace while the world watches and wonders how you didn't lose your mind. The test of not stepping out of character just to gain temporary clarity. Archangel Michael is saying this with commanding grace. If you pass this test, the elevation will come wrapped in honor that cannot be revoked. No voice can block what God breathes into your future. No accusation can disqualify what God has already authorized. No enemy can stand where heaven has called you to rule. This is your moment of divine reshaping. Peace will arrive in unexpected ways. It won't always look like apologies. Sometimes peace will come through absence, through people removing themselves, through opportunities falling through that would have only drained your soul. Sometimes peace will look like silence. Sometimes it will feel like distance. But it will be peace. And in that peace, God will rebuild you, quietly, fully, completely. While others scramble to maintain their appearances, you will be walking in substance, in clarity, in purpose. This peace is not ordinary, it is prophetic, and it is arriving now. Archangel Michael releases the final seal of this transformation with holy fire. You will no longer grieve what you lost when you see what is rising. Your tears will turn into territory. Your silence will birth supernatural strategy. Your wounds will become wells of wisdom. You have not gone through all of this for nothing. There is oil flowing now, pressed from the crushing. A divine fragrance is surrounding your next move, and it cannot be contaminated. What was sent to break you has now crowned you. What they tried to sabotage has become your sacred sanctuary. The transformation is irreversible. The reversal is undeniable. And the rise is inevitable. So take a deep breath. Let your spirit exhale. The setup has failed. This rib has flipped. And now, you walk not in recovery, but in revelation. You are no longer trying to survive the chapter. You are now the author of the comeback. Heaven is turning the page, and your story is about to become someone else's proof that God truly never wastes pain. Type "The script is flipped" in the comments to seal this transformation. Blessing code 1212 is now activating supernatural favor, peace, and breakthrough in your direction. Archangel Michael's voice now shifts, not to warn, but to awaken. The time for silence has passed. The time for stillness is transforming into the time for spiritual action. This is your divine cue, your holy moment, your sacred instruction. You are not hearing this message by accident. You are not listening in a random moment of the day. Heaven aligned this word to collide with your spirit at this exact second, because your soul is ripe for activation. The setup against you had been seen, judged, and overruled. But now, it is your response that will determine how swiftly heaven moves on your behalf. You must respond in faith. You must move and believe. You must affirm your agreement with the divine shift already in motion. You are not powerless. You are not passive. You are a partner with heaven. And the way you speak, the way you type, the way you declare, right now, sends signals into the supernatural. You are aligning your voice with the voice of God. You are coming into agreement with the reversal that has already been written. This is why Archangel Michael urges, declare your identity. Type your destiny. Affirm your agreement. Your action is not for validation, it is for vibration. Every time you speak blessing, every time you affirm truth, every time you break the silence with holy confidence, the atmosphere around you responds. This is not about empty words. This is about divine positioning. There is power in the prophetic when it is partnered with participation. Heaven is flipping the script, yes, but your agreement activates acceleration. You must declare, not because God needs to hear it, but because you need to hear yourself say it. You need to hear the sound of your own deliverance leaving your lips. You need to hear the vibration of breakthrough echo from your fingers into your future. You need to see the evidence of your faith manifest in action, in alignment, in engagement. You are not just watching a word, you are walking into it. So now, let this word move you. Don't just listen, respond. Don't just absorb, declare. Don't just agree in your heart, type it with your hands. Say what heaven already knows about you. Say, I am chosen. Say, the script is flipped. Say, this setup is my setup for glory. You are not begging. You are not wishing. You are prophesying. When you type it, when you speak it, you awaken angels. You shake the atmosphere. You draw the future closer. And you put the enemy on alert that you are no longer in hiding. You are here. You are awake. You are armed with truth. This is your moment to step into agreement. Not just emotionally, but spiritually and practically. You are being called to declare who you are. You are being summoned to speak what you carry. You are not a bystander to your own breakthrough. You are a co-creator in the outcome. God has authored the reversal, but your agreement gives it wings. Your alignment speeds its arrival. Don't underestimate the weight of a simple affirmation. Don't downplay the strength in a spoken declaration. Life and death are in the tongue, and your words right now are choosing life, favor, restoration, and divine elevation. Archangel Michael seals this charge with heavenly fire. When you speak, the spirit world listens. When you agree, the gate opens. When you move, the miracle meets you. You don't need a stage. You don't need a title. All you need is agreement. Heaven doesn't bless performance. It blesses alignment. And this is your moment of alignment. Say it. Type it. Claim it. Declare it. You are not waiting for transformation to happen. You are calling it in now. You are not hoping for peace. You are stepping into it. The page has turned. The air has shifted. The story is unfolding. Your role is changing from the one being targeted to the one being transformed. So if this word has stirred something deep inside you, don't leave quietly. Don't exit passively. Stand up in the spirit. Speak your agreement into the comments. Share your faith. Stir your own atmosphere. Let your voice be a prophetic stamp on the scroll of your destiny. Type I agree with heaven in the comments now. Blessing code 2020 has been activated to give you double clarity, double honor, and divine alignment in all things. And if this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way and is deeply appreciated. Archangel Michael stands now at the edge of your atmosphere with one final declaration, one last commandment echoing from the throne of heaven. You are not a victim. You are the revelation. Let this truth sink deep into your bones. You were never meant to be defined by what they did to you. You were never created to be labeled by your past, your pain, your betrayal, or your silence. You are not the aftermath of sabotage. You are the prophecy that rose from its ashes. Everything that came against you, everything that was whispered, everything that was twisted, has failed to extinguish the one thing they underestimated: your light. Your light was never fragile. It was forged in fire. Your soul was never weak. It was waiting for divine timing. And that timing is now. You have not just endured, you have evolved. You have not just survived, you have shifted. And this shift is not small. It is supernatural. It is radical. It is holy. You are no longer waiting for someone to validate you. You are no longer bending to stay accepted. You are no longer explaining away your glow so that others feel safe in their shadows. No. You are done shrieking, done questioning, done retreating. The flip has occurred, and it cannot be undone. Archangel Michael speaks directly to the core of who you are. Let them whisper. You rise. Let them stare in confusion as you walk in confidence. Let them cling to the version of you they created while heaven continues to elevate the version of you God authored. Let them misinterpret the silence. They were never supposed to understand your purpose anyway. You rise now not to make a statement to man, but to respond to the summons of God. You rise because heaven said so. You rise because your name was sealed in oil. You rise because the script has already flipped, and this time you are the main character, not the footnote. Let every tear you've cried turn into thunder in the spirit. Let every sleepless night become a scroll of intercession rolled up and carried before the throne. Let every moment of doubt become a mirror for someone else's deliverance. You didn't go through it for nothing. God will not waste the pain. God will not waste the silence. God will not waste the tension. Every scar, every wound, every misunderstanding is being turned into a message, a holy, powerful, undeniable message. You are the evidence that the setup did not win. The script has flipped, and you're still here. So don't look back. Don't reopen old chapters. Don't respond to what no longer deserves your voice. You are not going backward. You are being called forward. Called into higher thinking. Called into greater peace. Called into deeper favor. What's behind you has already been judged. What's ahead of you is being prepared. Your only job now is to walk it out. In boldness. In confidence. In spiritual clarity. Let the residue of the old fall away. You are not that person anymore. And even if they try to make you prove it, don't. Let your growth speak. Let your fruit speak. Let heaven speak. Archangel Michael now seals this entire journey with this final word. Your victory is not coming. It is here. Your name is being restored. Your favor is being released. And your story is becoming a divine testimony written in the ink of heaven's justice. You are no longer in waiting. You are no longer hoping. You are no longer bound. You are rising. You are expanding. You are stepping into the full realization of who God said you were before they ever tried to write you off. Let the record show. The setup failed. The story was flipped. And you, child of God, have become the very thing they tried to stop. A living, breathing, unstoppable force of divine destiny fulfilled. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the past. Stand in your power. Speak with heaven's voice. And know this: nothing, and no one, can reverse what God has already revealed. Type "I am the revelation" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1444 is now surrounding your life with divine closure, fresh authority, and supernatural joy. Let this be the moment you seal the breakthrough, not just with belief, but with boldness. Thank you for journeying through this word. If it blessed your spirit and you feel led to support, consider a super thanks of up to $20. Your generosity fuels more prophetic messages like this and is deeply appreciated.